The true meaning of crisis is what Pep Guardiola is discovering right now at Manchester City. Quite a new sensation for the 53-year-old manager, as he has only seen success after success at almost all the clubs he's worked for. Well, he did work his magic at the Etihad Stadium, until now. This season is turning out to be quite disastrous for the Citizens. Nowadays, in the dugout, Pep seems to have the look of defeat, as he knows his masterpiece is falling, and he is powerless to stop it from crumbling. The only way to paint a proper picture of how bad it is for the Manchester club right now is with the numbers that aren't pretty at all. While their previous seasons saw them collecting points at an almost machine-like rate, the 24-25 campaign has been characterised by inconsistency and struggle. City has won just 4 of their last 15 games across all competitions. In the Premier League, they've won 10 games, drawn 4 and lost 6, putting them in 6th place. They've scored 36 goals but have also let in 27, around 1.35 per game. At home, they're doing okay with 6 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. But away from home, it's a different story. Only 4 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses. If the league had started in November, City would be fighting to avoid relegation. These numbers show just how far City has fallen from their usual high standards. Manchester City's current season is a far cry from their incredible past performances, leaving everyone stunned. Just a few years back, City was unstoppable. In the 2017-18 season, they set a superhero standard with 100 Premier League points, winning 32 games, drawing 4 and only losing 2. The next season was just as impressive with 98 points, narrowly beating Liverpool with crazy streaks like their 14-match winning run in 18-19. What made City special was their consistent excellence under Pep Guardiola. They hit 90-plus points more times than any other Premier League team, making it seem almost normal. The 2022-23 season was their crowning glory. They didn't just win, they conquered everything. They clinched the Premier League with 89 points, snagged the FA Cup by beating Manchester United, and topped it off with their first ever Champions League title, defeating Inter Milan 1-0. This rare treble made them only the second English team to achieve such a feat. Now compare those achievements with what you are seeing right now. Winning just 4 games in their last 15 matches is totally shocking for a team that used to be so dominant. This isn't just a small problem, it's a complete flip of everything City used to represent. Just months ago, they were on top of the world with their treble. Now, they look like a totally different team. One of the biggest reasons for City's poor form is the injury crisis they're facing. It's so bad that Pep Guardiola recently said, "We are in trouble," and mentioned that he only had 13 players available. Well, it's actually true that City's treatment room is busier than ever. The injury list includes some of City's best players: Rodri, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Ederson, and more. The absence of key defenders like Diaz and Stones has made City's defence much weaker. They're letting in more goals than usual, which puts pressure on the attackers to score even more. But it's not just about the number of injuries, it's about who's injured. For example, without Rodri, City's win percentage drops from 73.6% to 58.3%. That's like taking the engine out of a sports car. It just doesn't run the same. These injuries haven't just reduced City's squad, they forced Guardiola to change how the team plays, often with mixed results. When it comes to tactics, Guardiola is known as one of the best in football, sometimes considered as a wizard. City's trademark possession game is sputtering, and their high press isn't as effective. City's possession has dropped from a league-leading 62.6% last season to an average of 58.7% in their last 10 games. This might not seem quite a big drop, but that means that the City players are losing the ball more frequently. This decline in ball control has led to more opposition counterattacks, with City now facing 1.2 shots per match on the counter, up from just 0.5 last season. The absence of key players has forced Guardiola to experiment with formations. While the 4-1-4-1 remains his go-to, he's had to employ a 3-1-4-2 and 3-4-2-1 6 times each this season. City's ability to switch up their tactics used to be a big advantage, but now it's causing problems. Their pressing game, which was once super effective, has gotten much worse. Here's the weird part. City is the best in the Premier League at starting pressing moves, but they're the worst at actually winning the ball back from these presses. It's like they're working hard to pressure opponents, but not getting the results they want. City has conceded the most goals from crosses to the back post in the league, and they're winning fewer aerial duels in defence than ever before under Guardiola. For the first time in Pep's reign, City is actually giving away better chances to score than they're creating themselves. These tactical problems have made it easier for other teams to find ways to beat City. All of these issues points to City's biggest problem right now is how much they depend on their midfield to create attacks. In the past couple of seasons, they've been super reliant on passing through the middle of the pitch. Last season, 31% of their attacks came right through the centre. That's the highest in the Premier League. This season, they're still doing the same thing, with 31% of attacks going through the middle. The real trouble starts when their key midfielders aren't playing. When Rodri or Kevin De Bruyne are out, City looks completely different. Pep tried to fill the hole with players like Kovacic and Gundogan, but just can't do the same job, and it's causing major problems for the team. Well, the Spaniard tried to fix this by changing how the team plays. He's moved from an attacking style to a more defensive one, using players like Kyle Walker to protect the team. But this new approach isn't working as well as he hoped. The team is struggling to create chances, score goals, and control games like they used to. The biggest issue is that when the teams block the middle of the pitch, City doesn't know how to attack effectively using the wings. It's as if they only have one way to play, and when that doesn't work, they're lost. The situation has turned City's greatest strength, their midfield play, into their biggest weakness. The team has become too dependent on a few key players, and when these players are injured or not performing well, the whole team struggles. It's a wake-up call for Guardiola and the squad, showing they need to find new ways to play that don't rely so heavily on just a couple of midfielders. As if City didn't have enough problems on the field, they're also facing some serious off-field issues. In February 2023, the Premier League charged City with over 100 breaches of financial rules between 2009 and 2018. While City says they've done nothing wrong, the case is still ongoing. If they're found guilty, the consequences could be severe. They might lose points, face big fines, or even be kicked out of the Premier League. This uncertainty is like a dark cloud hanging over the club. It might be affecting how players feel about their future at City and could be making it harder for the club to plan for transfers. The outcome of this case could have a huge impact on City's future, adding another layer of worry to their current problems. As of now, the way they are playing, the future of Manchester City hangs in the balance. With their recent struggles, there's a real possibility that they might miss out on qualifying for the Champions League next season. Pep Guardiola has expressed concerns about this risk, noting that City, who have been a staple in Europe's top competition for the past 14 years, could find themselves outside looking in. The question now is, can City turn the ship around? The pressure is mounting. They face tough opponents ahead, and every game feels like a must-win. Could they slip further down the table and end up outside not just the Champions League, but possibly even the Europa League? This would be a first for Guardiola, who has consistently led them to European competition since his arrival. The stakes are high, and only time will tell if City can reclaim their status or if they will continue to struggle. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.